This is raw and unfiltered, from sex, sports to culture, all topics considered. It's a good time with dope conversation. Every time you take a listen, it's a celebration. So tap in, you won't be disappointed. Keep it a buck, anything else is pointless. Facts over fluff, our discussions are poignant. Politically incorrect, well that's what the point is. We talk our talk like nobody else can. We give our perspective, not afraid to make a stand. Nothing off the record, every take and every rant.
Y'all already know what it is, and what it's always going to be. Now, please take the time to hit that subscribe button. You know, we appreciate it. Tap in, leave a comment, like, share, let everybody know. Tell a friend, tell your pastor, tell your teacher, tell your babysitter, tell everybody that Big Smash got something to say. Now, I told myself, like, I ain't gonna really jump into other people's relationships because it really ain't my business. But they make it so easy for us. And I feel like a lot of times you find stuff that you can relate to. So when I look at things, yesterday I had a big long discussion about uh standing with Offset, because I feel like that's the first thing the media does. They social media, it's always the woman is right, the man did all the wrong. And you know what I'm saying, 9 times out of 10 we don't even be knowing the half of what be going on. We don't know who's wrong, who's right. But I feel like it's basically whoever runs to the internet first, then they're usually right. And it had me thinking, why does the internet get so much control over people's lives and relationships? And then I thought about it. I was like, yo, I went through something like that. And the crazy thing about it is, looking back on it, you're like, yeah, this ain't it. Why do y'all have a say so? Or why do y'all have power over everything that we say and do as a couple, as a relationship, as human beings? Like, the internet has too much power. Like, for some of us, getting on here is just a platform for us to express ourselves, express what we feel, express us. It's not, you know, I've learned a long time ago, stop putting your real life business out on the internet, because everybody is just waiting for you to say something that they can use against you in the future. And I had somebody do that to me yesterday, or thought that that's what they was doing. And it was like, yo, we take things and we talk about things, because we want to help somebody else heal as we're healing. And I felt like for the whole situation, running to the internet does nothing. And you talking to a person that has ran to the internet over and over and over and over all his life. And I had to really, really think on this. Like, does the internet do for you? Yeah, it helps you release everything that you feel, but in all actuality, what does the internet do for you? What does running to the internet do for you when you're having relationship problems? Because again, you're talking to a man that used to do it quite often. Everything that I was going through, I'm running to the internet. I'm getting behind the microphone and I'm speaking on it. It's like, yeah, it's cool to do those things because your story might help somebody else. But I think it's a boundary. You don't let everyone into your home. You don't let everyone into your bedroom. When Will and Jada and DJ Envy and his wife, and she wrote all that stuff in her book, they're basically selling their soul for fame. Cardi B got on the internet, hollered and hooted. She moved on. She happy. She living her best life, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then once that man started doing him, now it's a problem. Now you have a problem. Now he's a B word this and a B word that, and don't play with you and all this. But just a few hours ago, you did a video and said, yeah, you've been single. But then, and a few hours later, he been disrespectful to me and he been playing in my face. But it's like, what do you expect? What do you expect a man to do when you're constantly uh glorifying your body parts, when you're constantly uh showing unmotherly characteristics, when you're out here flying around, when you're out here engaging in dumbass beefs, when you're out here, what do you expect? And but here's the thing, it's not all on her either, because cheating is cheating. It doesn't matter the reason. Now, men can get on here and say, yeah, I cheated because of this, but at the end of the day, you still cheated. And I'm just, again, you're listening to a person that has had his run-ins with cheating, and we can dive into why men cheat. And people, first thing people say is, oh, well, why not just leave? Sometimes it ain't that easy. Sometimes it ain't that easy. And that's for men and women. Sometimes it ain't that easy. Sometimes you feel like if you can, in Offset's case, what I'm thinking is, in his mind, he probably felt like, I could cheat as many times as I want. She's not going to leave. And the reason I can speak on that is because I had that mentality. I really had that mentality. Like, cool. It got to the point where loving me became more of a chore. You know what I'm saying? It became more of a chore. There were times in a lot of my relationships that I felt like uncovered, unloved, unvalued, unrespected. I mean, disrespected. So there were times where, again, if you walk past someone that's telling you all the things that you really wish you was hearing at home, or they're offering you home cooked meals, they're offering you conversation, they're offering you their body, they're offering you time, and you feel like, yo, I'm not getting these things at home. Of course, the door to cheating is open. Now, I'm not saying that you have to open that door, you have to move that door open. You can always push it closed, but sometimes, and I asked this question yesterday, why is the relationship only in danger when the woman's unhappy? It's never in danger. It's never, let's talk about this. Uh it's never the woman telling the man, let's talk about this before you walk away. Let's talk about this before you're unhappy. Let's talk about this before you cheat. Let's talk about this before you leave. It's never that. It's always, well, you don't treat me right, so I'm leaving you, dude. Like, it's never a two-way street in most cases. And I went through it. I went through it. I went through those days of being depressed. I went through those days of being hurt. I went through those days of being broken because the love that I wanted was not there. How I wanted to be loved was not there. And you can tell a person, hey, you're not loving me the way that I want to be loved, but you can love me like this. And they will totally bypass every way, every feeling that you feel. And we know those arguments. We know those arguments, them arguments where you go a little too far, where you say things that you can't walk down that block and retake back. We don't forget those things, just like women don't. We don't forget the words that you speak, or how you get on the internet and talk down to people, or how you tell your friends and your family and everything. Because again, when couples get into it, the first thing they do is run to social media. And for me, I had to learn to stop that, because again, nobody's rooting for you. Everybody's waiting. They're waiting on you to say something that they can use against you in the future. They're waiting on you to say something that, if y'all so happen to get into it, they're throwing darts at you. And I got to tell you, throwing darts at me is only going to make me throw missiles back at you. So choose wisely. One thing that I've learned is, playing with your family on the internet only leads you down one hole. And that's a hole that you are not ready to dig deep and go down to. So it's always good that if you have a problem with somebody, your relationship, your spouse, your family, whoever, it's best to talk to them. It's best to go discuss it with them. And I think when you look at relationships, and a lot of them are ending. They drag the dude. They drag the dude. Offset, Amon Shumpert. They're trying to find a way to drag Jeezy now because they said Jeezy cheated, and the old girl is really talking about putting pressure on him for the divorce. When you see this, all these men are under attack, and they paint these women in the prettiest of lights. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying if these dudes were dogs or they did what they did, they don't deserve to be, crucified or whatever the case is. But we not gonna act like women don't make mistakes. We not gonna act like women don't lie. We not gonna act like women don't cheat. We not gonna act like women don't disrespect or make their man feel less of a man. We're not gonna do that. See, me, I try to look at both sides. I try to look at both waves, and then I'll be like, all right, cool. Well, he wrong for this and she wrong for that. Because I'm gonna tell you, I spent the longest time in my relationships blaming other people. Now, I might have had legitimate reasons to step out. I might have, but it still didn't make it right. It still didn't make it right that I did those things. We can justify cheating all we want to. I justified it in the past where, like, yo, this is not being done. I'm not being listened to. I'm not being loved properly. I'm not being, the sexual intimacy is not there. I don't feel valued. I don't feel appreciated. I don't feel wanted. I don't feel needed. I can justify cheating all I want to, but at the end of the day, in the eyes before God, I'm still wrong. And that's what took me out the curve. Like, I don't want to do that part anymore, but I'm also not going to stand for being unhappy. I don't know. Again, I can't speak for what these other men are out here doing. They all have their reasons. Are their reasons justified? Who knows? To them, it might be. Me, I felt like, yeah, if your reasons are valid and talking to your mate, this is male and female, talking to your mate is not helping you. You're feeling bypassed. You're feeling ignored. You're feeling unheard. The best thing I can tell you is to leave. But then you got to think about all the years you put in, all the expenses you done paid, all the kids you done made, all the time, blood, sweat, tears, all of that. That stuff is not easy to walk away from. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we sit inside and we wish the other person walk away so we can feel like, oh yeah, we dodged a bullet. But in the actuality is some holes in your heart can't be filled either way. So now 9 times out of 10, you're forced to sit into something that you're not happy with, but you're going to cheat. You're going to lie. You're going to be sneaky about it. And, in the end, some people, they never learn until they learn. I'm a big advocate for being emotional with your mate, talking to your mate, listening to your mate, getting both sides in. I'm a big advocate for sitting down with counseling if you two can't work it out yourself. I'm a big advocate for running and exhausting every option before you throw in the towel. I'm a big advocate for that. Now, because I got to admit, like, once you take steps like marriage, like long-term committed monogamous relationships, once you go those paths, you have to do everything in your power to make it work. You don't accept the lying and the cheating and the disrespecting. You don't accept that, but there is a way to heal from that. There is a way to grow from that. You have to set boundaries. I truly believe Cardi B did not set boundaries, because if she did, no way this man would continue to embarrass her week after week, month after month, month after month, and she accepted. I don't care how many times you say, I'm doing it for the kids, and I'm doing it for the family, and I'm doing it because I love him, and I love her. And you could say all of that. And the minute that you say that, in their mind, and I'm speaking for me, oh, I got her. She ain't going nowhere. Oh, okay. Now I can wild out. So then it got to the point where, hey, I was just cheating just to cheat, because I felt like, shit, you ain't leaving. So what's the point? So I can speak that that's a mind frame for a lot of cheaters, a lot of people that have cheated, men and women. You know, some people feel like they are that good that no matter what you do, you can get away with it. And it sucks, but that's the reality. That's why boundaries have to be set. I know, and I'm gonna get more into that later. I ain't gonna jump into it right now, but boundaries are key in any relationship. You gotta have some type of boundaries, but most importantly, you gotta have some type of respect. You gotta respect your mate. You gotta respect your relationship. You gotta respect their feelings. You gotta respect your feelings. Plain and simple. There ain't no way of getting behind that. Sometimes you have to really, really dig deep and respect everything that you have going on, because you don't want to be the one to lose. You know what they say, one man's loss is another person's gain, or one person's loss is another person's gain. You don't want to hear that. You don't want to see somebody else making who you should be making happy. And I think that's what it is. Cardi B and Offset were not made for each other. And he kept showing her that, and she kept not listening. So I don't know, you know, sometimes what they say, if they show you who they are, believe them. People can change. People can change, but they have to want to change from within, not because they finna lose you, not because you're threatening to walk out the door, not because you're threatening to take the kids. They have to change from inside. And if they're not changing inside because they want to change from inside, they'll never get it. Y'all already know what it is. I'll be back later. Hit that subscribe button.